Hey there! Tonight we begin with something cold, something silent, and something that, honestly, might make you glad you're not a newborn snow leopard. Because while most animals face challenges at birth, few arrive in a world this thin, this steep, and this unforgiving, hidden in a rocky den, high above the tree line, where the air itself feels rationed and the wind never rests. You've probably seen snow leopards in photos draped over cliffs like living shadows, tails curling like silk, eyes sharp enough to read the wind. But the truth? Being born a snow leopard kinda sucks. It's isolation, it's hunger, it's learning to move where a single misstep could send you falling into nothing. And for most of your days, you won't see another living thing, just stone, snow, and the endless white breath of the mountains. But don't worry, you're not here to struggle, you're here to rest. So, before we start, take a moment to like the video, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is for you. It's always fascinating to see who's drifting off in quiet corners of the world. Now, dim the lights. Maybe let a soft hum or a faint breeze fill the background. Let your breath slow, and let's ease into tonight's high, snowy journey together. Chapter 1. The Cold and the Warm. The cold greets you first. It's the oldest thing you know, the thing you felt before you even saw the world. It sits in the stone, in the air, in the silence. It slips between the hairs of your fur, curls around your paws, and breathes on the tips of your ears. You don't fight it. You've never known a world without it. But here, in the dark curve of the den, there's another presence: warmth. It comes from the shape curled against you, slow breathing, heavy still. Your mother. Her fur smells of dust, old snow, and the faint, lingering scent of prey she ate before you were even born. Your siblings are pressed in close, their tiny movements stirring the thin air. Every shift they make brushes warmth against your side, but it's fleeting, fragile. Out there, beyond the den mouth, the wind tears warmth apart in seconds. You close your eyes and listen, not to voices there are none, not to footsteps the snow swallows them whole. You listen to the heartbeat pressed against your ear. It's the first rhythm you've ever known. It tells you you're not alone. Not yet. In the den, there is only cold and warm. And right now, the warm is winning. Chapter 2. First glimpse of the outside. The first time you notice it, it's not light. It's movement. A shift in the darkness. A flicker. Something that doesn't belong to the still, warm den. Your eyes, still learning what distance means, follow it toward the jagged crack at the edge of your world. That gap has always been there, an opening that breathes a different kind of air. It smells sharper, like stone rubbed raw, like snow breaking under its own weight. Sometimes, it carries faint scents you can't name yet, a musk that makes your chest feel tight, a tang that stirs something restless in your belly. Your mother stirs when you lift your head. She doesn't look at you, but her body shifts, subtly, until she's between you and the opening. Her tail thick, heavy with fur drapes across your paws. The message is simple, wordless. Not yet. But you keep watching. Out there, the world is pale. Not bright. The mountains rarely give full light, but pale in a way that makes your eyes ache. The air that drifts in carries a chill different from the den's cold. This cold has teeth. It smells like cliffs you cannot see, like wind that has travelled for days without touching the ground. You inch forward anyway, paws slipping on the hard-packed floor. The closer you get, the more the opening widens. Shapes appear vague, shifting. A ridge, a slope, a wall of ice clinging to stone like frozen breath. The vastness makes your stomach drop. The wind outside moves differently. In here, it's a low hum. Out there, it's alive, darting, twisting, pressing into every open space. When it touches your whiskers, you flinch. It's colder than you thought possible. The den has been a shield, and for a moment, you understand why your mother keeps you inside. Behind you, your siblings are still curled into the comfort of her warmth. They don't seem curious. They haven't felt the pull. You feel the tug in your chest that tells you something out there is waiting, even if it's dangerous. Your mother rises slowly. Her movement fills the den, her head low, her shoulders rolling under her fur with the quiet strength of something built for mountains. She steps past you, toward the opening, and for the first time, you see her framed against the pale outside. She's larger than you ever realized, her back curving like the ridges of the slopes beyond, her tail swinging like a counterweight for worlds you haven't walked yet. She pauses there, scanning the distance. Her ears turn, catching sounds you can't hear. Her nose lifts, drawing in scents that carry for miles. You can feel her attention sharpen, every muscle listening, tasting, calculating. Then, without looking back, she slips out into the cold. You rush forward just enough to place your head in the opening. The air steals your breath. It's thinner, harsher. It makes your chest work harder, your nostrils flare. But it also brings you things you've never known. The smell of snow sliding off rock, the faint trace of goat far down the slope, the sound of a raven's wing slicing the wind. Your paws itch to follow. But instinct, or maybe your mother's unspoken rule, keeps you at the edge. For now, the mountains will wait. You turn back into the den, the pale light fading behind you. The warmth of your siblings is still there, and you press into it without thinking. But now, something's different. You've seen the outside. You've felt its pull, and you know that the day will come when you'll have to step into it, with nothing between you and the wind but your own fur, your own claws, and the silence of the peaks. Chapter 3. The first step into the mountains. The day comes without warning. There's no signal you can name, no wordless whisper telling you today is the day. Just the sound of your mother's movement, a low shift of fur against stone, the faint scrape of claws on the frozen ground. You open your eyes to find her already at the den mouth, head angled into the wind. The pale light outside spills in, brushing against your fur. This time, she doesn't block you with her tail. This time, she glances back once not in invitation, but in something more dangerous. Permission. You rise slowly, every muscle stiff from sleep. Your paws feel unsteady under you. Until now, the world has been no bigger than this den. Each step toward the opening feels like moving towards something you can't quite measure, as if the air itself is changing. When you reach her side, the wind slams into you. It's not gentle. It's not curious. It pushes, tests you, slides through your fur until it finds your skin. You lower your head instinctively, ears folding back to keep the cold from slipping inside. And then, the world opens. The mountains stretch in every direction, endless ridges and cliffs stacked on top of each other until they vanish into cloud. There is no single horizon, only layers of stone, snow, and shadow. The ground drops steeply in front of you, a slope broken by outcrops of rock where tufts of grass cling to the frozen soil. You breathe in, and your chest tightens. The air is thin, so thin it feels like there's less of it for you than there is for the wind. You don't know yet that this is what makes your kind strong. Lungs built for altitude, blood that carries more than most animals can hold. But right now, it just feels like the world is asking you to work harder for every breath. Your mother moves without sound. Her paws land as if the mountain made a path for her alone. You follow, but every step sends small stones tumbling away beneath you. They click and rattle down the slope, and you freeze at each sound, eyes darting for movement below. You're still learning that sound travels differently here, bouncing, echoing, stretching across distances until you can't tell where it began. Far above, the wind catches a snowdrift and sends it spinning into the air. Tiny shards sting your face, melting instantly into cold tracks along your fur. You blink them away and keep going, tail stretched out behind you for balance. The slope gives way to a narrow ledge. One side is a wall of rock, cold and rough against your flank. The other is nothing, just open space. A drop so far you can't see where it ends. Your paws cling to the stone, claws finding small holds. Your body presses low, every movement careful, slow. This is the first lesson of the mountains. The ground is not always where you think it is. Halfway along the ledge, you stop. Below, movement. A shape, faint but alive, picking its way across a ridge, small hooves clicking on stone, head bent to graze at frozen plants. Blue sheep. You don't know the name, but your body knows the meaning. The pull in your stomach is sharp, insistent. Your mother sees it too. She doesn't move toward it, not yet. She studies the wind, the slope, the pattern of its steps. This is the second lesson of the mountains. The kill is not in the pounce. It's in the wait. You stay still beside her, the cold seeping into your bones. Every instinct tells you to move, to close the distance, to feel the rush of the chase. But you're learning that here, in this high, silent world, patience is as much a weapon as your claws. For now, the blue sheep drifts farther down the slope, unaware. Your mother turns away, leading you higher instead of lower. This is not the hunt for today. You follow, paws aching, lungs working harder with each step. But in your chest, something new is burning the knowing that food walks somewhere out there, and that one day you'll take it for yourself. Chapter 4. The First Hunt. Hunger is different today. It's not just a hollow feeling in your belly. It's sharper, louder, a steady throb that seems to echo in your ribs with every breath. Your mother moves before the light has even reached the mountains. You follow, paws silent on the frozen ground, your body already learning the rhythm of her step. She does not waste movement. Every shift of her weight, every placement of her paw is chosen. Even her tail, thick, heavy, curling with the curve of her body, seems to guide her like an extra limb. The wind is behind you. That's not good. You don't know all the reasons yet, but you've begun to understand that wind can carry your scent farther than your steps can take you. She leads you to a ridge, its edge lined with lichen-stained rock. You press your body low and peek over. Below, scattered across the slope, are blue sheep. Some are grazing, heads down, jaws working slowly over dry tufts of grass that have fought their way through the snow. Others stand still, ears twitching, eyes scanning the air in quiet suspicion. Your pulse quickens. You remember the one you saw days ago, far below on another slope. This is the same shape, the same movement, but closer. So close, you can see their breath clouding in the thin morning air. Your mother waits. She does not look at you, but you feel her attention settle, like stone cooling under shade. She watches the herd, choosing without moving. You feel the energy in her muscles, not tense, not trembling, coiled. When she moves, it's not toward the herd. She slips sideways, following the ridge until the wind is no longer behind you, but in your face. Now, your scent stays with you. You follow, paws careful on loose rock. The world has narrowed to this moment. The scrape of your claws, the distant crunch of hooves on snow, the thin air dragging into your lungs. Your mother stops behind a boulder and drops into a crouch. Her tail flicks once the smallest signal. You copy her posture, muscles low, shoulders forward. Then she goes. It's not a sprint, it's an uncoiling, a silent rush forward, each step a blur until the distance collapses. You follow, but your paws strike a patch of loose snow. The sound is louder than it should be. The herd explodes. Hooves crack against the rock. Snow bursts upward in a cloud, and the mountain comes alive with motion. You run harder, chasing one that breaks away from the others. Its hooves clatter against the slope, legs moving like water over stone. You leap forward, claws out, but your paw meets empty air. Your chest burns. The thin air feels like fire in your throat. You push harder, but the blue sheep turns sharply, bounding up a line of narrow ledges you cannot follow. Your paws skid against the rock, and you stumble, the ground rushing at you before you catch yourself. By the time you steady, the slope is empty. The only sound left is your breathing fast, ragged, loud in the stillness. Your mother is already higher up, watching. She doesn't look disappointed. She doesn't move toward you or away from you. She just waits. When you reach her, she turns without sound, leading you back toward the ridges. There is no catch today. No warm meat, no filling of the hunger. Only the long walk back, paws aching, stomach still hollow. But there's something else too. The echo of the chase. The feeling of your claws cutting the air. The memory of the wind in your face, cold and alive. And, somewhere deep in you, a truth you can't name yet. The mountains will keep testing you until you're ready to take what they offer. Chapter 5. The cold taste of failure. The walk back feels longer than the hunt. Not because the mountains have changed, but because you have. Your paws drag more than they should. Each step sends a dull ache up your legs, a reminder of the chase, the way your muscles burned, the way your lungs clawed at the thin air for more than they could take. The slope that carried you down with speed now resists you, making you climb for every inch. The cold presses closer now, sliding between the seams of your fur as if it knows you've spent your energy. You keep moving, but the mountains seem taller, heavier, the ridges stretching farther away the more you try to reach them. Your stomach knots again, that hollow pressure turning sharper with every breath. You thought chasing would make the hunger fade for a while. It didn't. It made it louder. Your mother moves ahead, steady, unhurried. She doesn't glance back to check if you're keeping up, but you know she is listening pause, reading the sound of your steps, breath catching every shift in your rhythm. The path narrows. Loose snow spills under your paws, and you lean into the rock wall beside you. The stone is cold, rough against your shoulder. Every now and then, the mountain shifts its shape, a sharp drop here, a hidden crack there, and you're reminded that it's not a place built for comfort. When the den comes into view, it's just a dark oval in the rock, a shadow that waits. You slip inside, and the air changes. It's still cold, but softer, the wind muted by stone. You curl into your spot, the same patch of smooth rock you've claimed since your eyes first opened. You press your body low, wrapping your tail over your nose, trying to trap the little heat you have left. Your mother settles nearby. She says nothing, not in sound, not in movement. Her stillness is its own language. She's lived enough hunts to know this feeling in you, the ache in your legs, the gnaw in your belly, the quiet in your mind where excitement used to be. For a while, you listen to the wind outside. It's different here, less a roar, more a low hum, like the mountain breathing. The sound settles into your bones, steady and slow. And then, something shifts inside you. Not a spark, not a rush, just a small, solid knowing. Today wasn't the last hunt. The mountains will still be here tomorrow. The blue sheep will still graze. The wind will still move between the ridges. And you will still be here, paws on stone, lungs filling with thin, cold air, ready to try again. You close your eyes, and the last thing you feel before sleep takes you is your tail's weight over your face and the deep, steady breathing of your mother beside you. Chapter 6. Reading the Mountain. The morning air tastes different after a day of failure. Not sweeter, not sharper, just more alive, like every breath carries something you didn't notice before. You wake before your mother moves. The den is still, the air thin and unmoving. The light hasn't yet reached the far peaks, but you can see the faint grey edge of dawn against the mouth of the cave. You rise quietly, paws pressing into the cold floor, tail curling to keep your balance. Your body aches less today. The tiredness from the chase has settled into something else, not weakness, but a slow, steady strength. When your mother steps out, you follow. She moves with the same care as always, but now you're paying attention to more than her paws. You notice how she angles her body when the wind shifts. How she stops, not because something moves ahead, but because the air smells different. You see how she uses the curve of the ridge to hide her outline, how her tail never drags in the snow, it floats just above it, balanced perfectly. The mountains are no longer just shapes in the distance. You start to see them as layers. Each ridge has a different scent, a different way the snow clings to the stone, a different sound when the wind moves through it. Some slopes hold your paw prints for hours, others erase them before you've even taken the next step. Your mother leads you to a ledge above a deep valley. The snow here is untouched, its surface unbroken except for the shadows of rock. You drop low beside her, scanning the space below. It takes time, but you see them specks of movement at the far edge, blue sheep grazing along the slope. From here, they look small, but you know their strength, you know their speed. You know the way their bodies flow over the rock like water. The wind is in your face. Good. Your scent will stay with you. You don't move yet. You watch. The herd shifts, spreads, regroups. One strays a little farther from the others. You feel the pull in your chest, the urge to move, but you stay still. You think about the loose snow under your paws last time, the sound that carried, the way it broke the silence too soon. You look at the slope between you and the stray sheep. Patches of rock break through the snow. If you follow those, your steps will be quieter. The wind is steady now, but if it shifts even a little, you'll need to change your path. You wait until your mother moves. When she slips forward, you match her pace, each step deliberate. Your paws find the dark patches of stone. Your body stays low, weight balanced. It's not a chase yet, it's something slower, a game the mountain plays with you, seeing how close you can get before it decides to give you a chance. And somewhere inside you, beneath the hunger and the focus, there's a quiet satisfaction. You're starting to learn the rules. Chapter 7. Closer than before. The sheep doesn't see you. Not yet. You're low, your belly brushing against the cold crust of snow. Your paws slide forward in silence, weight evenly spread, claws hidden until they're needed. Every muscle is listening to the wind, to the snow under you, to the shifting patterns of the animal ahead. The valley is wide, but the space between you feels small now. Not because the distance has vanished, but because you've learned how to make it shorter without moving too fast. Your mother is to your left, one ridge higher, her body a pale ghost against the rock. She's not leading this time. She's letting you decide the path. The sheep grazes near the edge of a drop, steep, but not impossible. You study the slope. Loose snow there, solid stone here, a small dip you could use to hide your final steps. Your breath slows. You know the moment will come suddenly, the shift from stillness to motion, and when it does, you won't have time to think. You take one more step, then another. The sheep lifts its head, ears twitching. It looks past you, not at you, scanning the ridgeline for shapes. You sink lower, barely breathing. The wind stays steady in your face. Then it happens. A rock shifts under your paw, just enough to send a small scrape into the silence. The sheep freezes. One heartbeat, two, and then it bolts. You launch forward, paws tearing at the snow, lungs filling with sharp, cold air. Your body stretches, each stride longer than the last. For a moment, it feels like you're closing the gap, the sheep's hooves kicking up powder just ahead of you. But the slope changes. The loose snow you planned for is softer than you expected. Your paw sinks too deep, breaking your rhythm. The sheep gains ground, leaping over the ridge's edge, vanishing down the far side. You stop. Your breath is heavy but steady. The hunger is still there, but something else has replaced the sting of failure. You were closer this time. Much closer. Your mother joins you, her paws silent even in the soft snow. She doesn't look at you as if to measure your effort. She looks at the ridge ahead, as though to say, "This is where we try again." The wind moves past both of you, carrying the scent of the herd as it disappears. You don't chase it, not now. Instead, you stand there, sides rising and falling, the mountains stretching around you like a vast, quiet classroom. You're learning its lessons, and the mountain, in its own way, is starting to trust that you'll return. Chapter 8. The Sun on Stone. It's the kind of morning that makes you stop moving without even meaning to. The wind is quiet, not gone, but gentler, carrying only the faint smell of distant snow. The sky above you is pale blue, so thin it feels like it might crack if you touched it. And the sun, rare and soft in this high place, falls across the rocks like a slow blanket of gold. You find yourself climbing without urgency, your paws choosing the warmest patches of stone. The air is cool, but the light has weight. A steady, calm warmth that seeps through your fur and into your skin. Your mother moves ahead, but not far. She settles on a ledge where the stone curves outward, catching the sunlight in full. You follow, curling beside her, the long rope of your tail wrapping over your paws. You've never thought much about the shape of the rocks before. They've always been obstacles, hiding places, or paths. But today you notice how they hold the sun. How a single dark ridge can be icy cold, while a pale patch nearby feels almost alive with heat. You press your cheek against one, feeling the way it holds the day in silence. The wind shifts slightly, carrying the smell of lichen, dust, and faraway water. Your ears twitch, but you don't move. You don't need to. Here, in this moment, nothing is chasing you, and nothing needs chasing. The hunger that usually sits in your belly has quieted. Your muscles, usually coiled and ready, are soft. You're still alert, you'll always be alert, but it's a different kind of awareness now. One that feels less like survival and more like belonging. The mountains look different when you're not searching them for prey. The snow patches aren't just obstacles. They're shapes that tell you where the sun hasn't reached yet. The valleys aren't just routes to travel. They're places where echoes sleep until the wind wakes them. Your eyes close, just for a moment. You listen not for danger, but for the slow, almost invisible rhythm of the mountain breathing. A raven passes overhead, its shadow gliding over the rock. It doesn't startle you. It simply reminds you that everything up here is moving at its own pace, and that pace is never rushed. The warmth deepens. You stretch out, feeling the pull in your legs, the quiet strength in your back. Your tail flicks lazily against the stone. You think about the last hunt, the one that almost worked. You think about how close you came, and how next time will be closer still. But the thoughts pass like clouds, soft, unhurried, leaving the sky clear again. For now, the sun is enough. The stone is enough. The stillness is enough. High above the tree line, in a place where winter is always close, you've found a rare truth. Not every day is for chasing. Some days are for being still, so that when the time comes to move, you'll move like the mountain itself, slow at first, but unstoppable. Chapter 9. The Mountain After Dark. The mountains change when the sun leaves. In daylight, you can see their faces, the sharp edges, the ridges stacked like frozen waves, the places where snow clings and where it doesn't. But at night, the mountains don't show you their faces. They speak to you in shapes and sounds instead. The moon is high tonight, pale and cold, hanging above the ridgeline like a coin you could almost reach if you climbed high enough. It spills silver light over the snow, turning every drift into something alive, shadows stretching, shrinking, curling at the edges. The air is sharper now. Each breath feels like it's made of glass. You move slowly, the pads of your paws pressing into the snow without a sound. You've learned that nighttime has its own kind of silence, not empty, but layered. There's the silence of snow settling under its own weight, the silence of your breath in your chest, and underneath it all, the distant sound of hooves crunching over frozen ground. You and your mother are downwind. The scent is faint, but it's there the musk of a small herd, probably blue sheep, maybe ibex. You can't tell yet, and it doesn't matter. You follow it the way water follows the pull of a slope. The moonlight catches on your fur as you move, outlining your shoulders, your back, your tail. You're a shadow among shadows, But up here, the wrong kind of shadow can give you away. You keep low, letting the slope hide you when the wind pauses. The herd is closer now. You hear the faint rumble of movement, a sound like stones rolling in the distance. Your ears tilt forward, catching every shift. Your mother slows, pressing herself into the snow until she disappears. You match her, your heart moving in slow, deliberate beats. Your eyes adjust to the dark. You start to see shapes in the shadows, not clearly, but enough. The rounded backs of sheep, their legs faint smudges beneath them, the frost clinging to their fur like frost on stone. You take a step, then another. The cold tightens around you, but you welcome it. The cold keeps you sharp. Then the smallest sound, a single pebble clicking against another under your paw. The nearest sheep's head lifts, ears wide. You freeze. The moonlight catches its eyes for a fraction of a second, and then the whole herd shifts, like one thought passing through many bodies. The chase begins. You surge forward, the night rushing past you in silver and black. The snow gives way under your paws, your tail streaming behind you for balance. The herd scatters most uphill, one breaking left, toward a ridge that drops into shadow. You follow the lone one. The air in your lungs burns, your legs stretch to their longest stride. You can feel the gap between you narrowing, but the mountain is a hunter too, and it throws obstacles in your way. Loose rock under snow, ridges too narrow for speed. The sheep leaps, its body twisting mid-air, landing on a slab of rock and vanishing over the edge. You skid to a stop just in time, the wind rushing up from the blackness below. You stand there, chest heaving, looking into the dark. The mountain has taken the sheep for itself tonight. Your mother joins you, her breath slow, her head high. There's no sound between you. There doesn't need to be. The moon is still above you, still spilling light across the snow. The herd will feed somewhere else now. You'll follow when the time is right. You turn away from the drop, moving higher, the cold biting into you again. The night is not over. And up here, the night always belongs to the patient. Chapter 10. The white that erases everything. The first snow of winter is quiet. The first real storm is not. It begins as a whisper, a thin scatter of flakes drifting in from the high ridge, melting before they touch the ground. You've felt that before. It's harmless, but the mountain doesn't stop at whispers. The wind starts low, somewhere you can't see. You hear it before it reaches you, a distant growl that seems to move through the stone itself. Then, all at once, it's here. Snow lifts from the ground in long, twisting veils, erasing the shapes of rocks and ledges. The air thickens, the world shrinks to the space in front of your nose. You blink against it, your long lashes catching flakes that sting when they melt. Your ears fold back. Instinct tells you to move, but not forward, not up or down. Move sideways, into the mountain itself. Find shelter before the wind steals your sense of direction. Your paws sink deep into drifts that weren't there a moment ago. The snow is no longer falling, it's flying, pulled and spun by the storm until it's impossible to tell where it began. You glance at your mother. Her body is low to the ground, her eyes narrow slits. She's moving with purpose, reading the mountain the way others read the sky. You follow, step for step, because you know that a wrong move now isn't just dangerous, it's final. The storm makes its own silence. Not the still, peaceful kind, but the kind that drowns out everything else. The kind that feels heavy in your chest. The ledge she chooses is almost invisible, until you're right on top of it, a dark slash in the pale wall. You squeeze inside, the rock pressing close on either side. The wind roars past the opening, carrying the storm somewhere else, but not far enough. You curl into the corner, your tail wrapping around your nose. Your breath warms the fur on your chest, but the cold still reaches through. You can feel it in the pads of your paws, in the tip of your tail, in the space between each rib. Time slows here. There's no way to tell how long the storm will last. Minutes feel like hours. hours feel like days. You drift between waking and half sleep, ears twitching at each change in the wind's pitch. When you wake fully again, the storm hasn't ended, it's only changed. The roar has softened into a steady hiss, the snow falling instead of flying. The world outside the ledge is unrecognizable. Where there were sharp ridges, now there are smooth slopes. Where there was a path, there's nothing but white. You step out cautiously, your paws breaking the crust of fresh snow. The air is still cold enough to bite, but it feels clean now, almost new. You realize something as you look across the transformed mountain. Storms don't just cover the land, they remake it. And if you can learn to disappear into them, they can remake you, too. Up here, survival isn't just about strength or speed. It's about knowing when to vanish. Chapter 11. The Hunger That Teaches You. Hunger doesn't arrive all at once. It creeps in, quietly at first, a hollow in your belly that you can ignore if you keep moving. But out here, in the high places where prey is rare, hunger becomes something else. It stops being a feeling and starts being a presence. Something that follows you from ridge to ridge, curling in your gut, whispering to your legs to slow down. It has been 3 days since you last ate. The cold is different now. It reaches deeper. Not the kind that just brushes your fur. This kind works its way inward, stealing from your muscles, your thoughts. The wind is calm today. The sky is cloudless, sharp blue. The kind of day when the mountains almost look warm from a distance, their peaks catching gold in the sunlight. But the warmth never reaches the ground. It never reaches you. Your paws crunch over frost as you move, each step deliberate. You know there's no point in wasting energy chasing shadows. If you hunt now, it has to matter. Your mother is ahead, moving like liquid over the rocks. You notice she's slower too. Her head is lower, her tail trailing behind her instead of balancing high. Hunger has been with her before she knows how to carry it. You pass old tracks in the snow, half filled by wind. The edges are soft, too old to follow. You scan the slopes. Your eyes pick out every twitch, every shift of shadow that could mean movement. Sometimes it's just a trick of the light wind blowing across loose snow, the tail of your own shadow curling ahead of you. Other times, you're not sure until you've already taken the step toward it. The air smells empty. That's the worst part. Not the absence of food, but the absence of even the scent of it. The mountains can smell alive when herds pass through, their musk and warmth hanging in the wind long after they've gone. But now, there's nothing. You rest under a rock overhang when the sun dips low, its light spilling into the valley in long, thin rays. You curl your tail around you, pressing your chin into the thick fur of your chest. Your stomach tightens with every breath. The hunger sharpens your hearing. You start to notice things you wouldn't when full the faint drip of melting ice inside the overhang. The scrape of your mother's claws on stone as she shifts. The echo of some distant crack in the ice far above. Night falls without prey. You move again under the moonlight, slower this time. Hunger has its own rhythm. It tells you when to rest, when to stalk, and when to wait. You learn something tonight that will stay with you forever. Up here, hunger is not an enemy. It's a teacher. It teaches you to move only when the time is right, to watch longer than you walk, to feel the mountain breathing and match its pace. One day soon, there will be food again. But for now, the hunger stays with you, shaping you into something sharper. Chapter 12. The first solo hunt. The hunger has been with you for days now, coiled deep in your belly like a second heartbeat. But tonight, it's different. Tonight, it sharpens your senses until the mountain feels alive beneath your paws. The air is still. The kind of stillness that means something is near. You're alone this time. Your mother left at dusk, her shadow disappearing over a ridge without a sound. She didn't tell you to follow. She didn't tell you to stay. That was the lesson to decide for yourself. The moon is low, its light spilling silver over the snow. Every ridge, every ledge, every boulder has an edge sharp enough to cut the darkness. The cold feels clean on your nose. You breathe slow, each exhale a faint cloud that fades before it reaches the ground. Then, there it is. A faint shape moving against the slope ahead. The curve of a horn catching moonlight. The slow lift of a head between bites of frozen grass. An ibex. Your pulse doesn't speed up, not yet. The mountain has taught you better than that. You drop low, belly pressing into the cold crust of snow. Your tail extends straight behind you, balancing your weight as you move, step by silent step. Every time the ibex lowers its head to graze, you close the distance. Every time it looks up, you freeze, your body dissolving into the rocks and snow. Your paws land without sound. Even the snow seems to hold its breath for you. 50 steps, 30, 15. The wind shifts, bringing its scent directly into your nose, warm, alive, and unaware. The hunger inside you tightens into a single thread of focus. You wait for the slope to work in your favour. A small drop just ahead, perfect for the final leap. Your muscles coil. The cold disappears. There's no mountain, no moon, no wind. Just the space between you and it. The ibex lifts its head again. 1 second. 2. You move. Your body explodes forward, silent, until the last bound when your paws strike snow and stone at once. The ibex turns too late, your claws find its flank, your jaws its neck. The world narrows to the sound of hooves scraping rock, the sharp scent of fear, and the strength surging through you. It goes still. The mountain is silent again. You stand over it, sides heaving, breath steaming in the cold. The hunger uncoils, not gone, but softened. You've learned something new. The mountain doesn't feed you for free. It makes you earn every bite. Tonight, you earned it. You feed under the moon, the warmth of the meat seeping into you from the inside out. The snow drifts quietly around you, covering the struggle, erasing the signs that this moment ever happened. By morning, it will look as though nothing changed here at all, but you know different. You've taken your first prey alone, and the mountain has accepted you. Chapter 13. The silence between mountains. Up here, the days don't pass the way they do in other places. There's no clock to watch, no sound to mark the hours. The mountain decides the rhythm, and you follow. It's been 12 days since you last saw your mother. Her scent had lingered in a narrow pass, for a time faint, then fainter still until even the wind stopped carrying it. You didn't follow, not because you couldn't, but because you didn't need to. Her lessons are in your body now, in your steps, in the way you listen to the air before you move. The high ridges are your home now. When you wake in the mornings, if you can call them mornings, the first thing you notice is the cold. Not the sharp bite of wind, but the deep, steady kind that seeps into stone. It's in the ground beneath your paws, in the walls of the rocky crevice you've chosen for shelter. You breathe it in without flinching. The second thing you notice is the silence. It's not the kind of silence that's empty, it's the kind that feels full. Full of the weight of snow on distant peaks, full of the pressure of clouds hanging low, full of the slow, endless shifting of the earth beneath it all. You move along a ridge just wide enough for your paws, one side dropping into shadow, the other into a sunlit valley. The wind is light today, and it carries nothing, no scent of prey, no trace of another leopard. You are entirely alone, and yet you don't feel lonely. Solitude is the way of your kind. Every paw print you leave is erased by the next storm. Every place you rest becomes just another patch of rock once you're gone. Even your kills, once stripped clean, vanish into the white, claimed by snow and scavengers. You are a ghost here, but the mountain knows you. You pause on an outcrop, eyes sweeping the valley below. From here, the world looks like it has no edges. Peaks fade into mist, mist fades into sky, and sky fades into nothing. Somewhere in that nothing, an eagle rides the air in slow circles. Your breathing slows, your heart steadies. You could stay here all day and nothing would change. The silence becomes something you carry with you. It moves with you when you walk. It curls beside you when you rest. It presses close when you drink from a half-frozen stream, the only sound the slow crack of ice shifting beneath the surface. At night, the stars look close enough to touch. You lie on your side, tail curled over your nose, and watch them drift across the black. No one watches with you. No one shares this moment. And yet, it feels complete. The mountain has its own company. The wind, the snow, the stone, and now you. Chapter 14. The Unseen Boundary. The mountain has many borders. Not lines drawn in stone, but invisible fences woven from scent and silence. Today, you step into one. Your paws press carefully against the snow, leaving tracks that will last only until the next wind or storm erases them. But they are there a message to those who follow. You know these ridges well, but the air feels different now, heavier, charged. Ahead, the scent is faint but unmistakable, musk mixed with a sharp tang of territory, marked and defended. Another snow leopard has been here recently, perhaps an hour ago, perhaps yesterday. You can't say for sure. Your muscles tighten. You slow your breath. Here, in the high places where survival is already a test, encounters with another like you are rare and dangerous. You pause at a narrow pass, where the ridge drops steeply on both sides. The scent grows stronger here, tangled with the cold air. You sniff the wind, turning your head slowly, tracing the invisible lines that separate one life from another. Your tail flicks lightly, balancing your weight as you decide your path. The mountain does not forgive mistakes, and a wrong step here could mean a fight you're not ready for. You move with caution, every step measured. Your eyes scan the rock and snow for signs a scratch on a tree, a tuft of fur caught on a thorn, a scat left to warn others. The silence stretches taut, broken only by the whisper of the wind through the rocks. Suddenly, a low rumble vibrates through the ground, not the mountain's voice, but something closer. Another presence, watching, waiting. Your heart pounds, but you don't flee. You don't charge. You remain still, a shadow blending into the stone, your breath slow and steady. This is the language of territory unspoken, understood by those who live here. The rival snow leopard steps into view, eyes sharp, muscles coiled beneath thick fur. The air between you is electric. Neither of you moves for long moments. Then, a flick of a tail, a slow blink. The tension eases, just enough. The mountain watches, indifferent but aware. After a while, the rival slips away, vanishing into the maze of ridges like a ghost. You exhale slowly, the weight in your chest lifting. Territory has been marked. Boundaries respected. For now, the mountain is still yours to roam. Chapter 15. The calm. After the storm. The ridge feels different now. Not because anything has changed. The snow still clings to the rocks. The wind still whispers through the crevices. But because you have changed. The air you breathe is heavier, thick with the memory of sharp eyes and silent warnings. Your muscles still hum with tension, but your mind begins to unwind. You find a sheltered nook beneath a rocky overhang, where the sun, low in the sky, spills gentle warmth across the stone. The cold seeps away slowly as you settle down, curling your body tight and wrapping your long tail around your nose like a shield. Around you, the mountain sighs softly, the distant crack of ice shifting, the faint rustle of a lone pine, the slow drip of melting snow. It's a chorus for the patient, a lullaby for those who know the mountain's language. You close your eyes and listen. The tension in your chest eases. Your breath slows to a calm rhythm, deep and even. In these moments, you realize that survival is not only about strength or speed. It is also about patience. About waiting for the right moment, the right wind, the right chance. The mountain teaches you this. It teaches you how to carry silence like a cloak, how to rest in the presence of danger, and how to find peace in the endless dance between stillness and motion. Your mother's presence lingers nearby, quiet and steady. You don't need to open your eyes to feel her, a warm pulse against the cold stone, a steady heartbeat matching your own. The sun dips lower, casting long shadows across the valley. The light softens, turning the snow to silver and the rocks to charcoal. You remain still, wrapped in the mountain's embrace, knowing that soon the hunt will call again. But for now, this is enough. This calm, this quiet, this moment, this Enna Goen Necht. Chapter 16, The Heart of Winter. Winter tightens its grip on the mountain. The days grow shorter, the sun dipping low behind jagged peaks before you can fully wake. A pale frost coats every rock and blade of grass, and the breath you exhale freezes instantly in the air. The snow deepens, turning familiar paths into hidden trails. Each step becomes heavier as the powder swallows your pores, forcing you to lift higher with every stride. The mountain feels colder, harsher, a place where even the strongest can falter, but you are built for this. Your thick fur fluffs against the chill, a dense shield against the biting wind. Your large paws spread wide, acting like snowshoes to keep you from sinking too deep. And your lungs, forged in thin air, pull the cold oxygen into your body with practiced ease. You move slower now, not because you're tired, but because the mountain demands it. Every ounce of energy must be conserved, every movement precise. Hunting is no longer about long chases. It's about waiting, watching, choosing the right moment when the wind shifts just so, when the prey's path crosses yours like a whisper on the wind. Food is scarce, and hunger gnaws deeper. Your body remembers the lessons of patience, lessons etched into every muscle, every bone. The mountain is silent but alive, a living thing that watches your every move. You find shelter in a narrow crevice, a place where the wind cannot reach. The stone is cold but protective. You curl up, wrapping your tail tightly around your nose, conserving heat as the storm clouds gather overhead. Outside, the first snowflakes begin to fall soft and slow at first, then faster, until the world is blanketed in white. You close your eyes, feeling the mountain shift beneath the weight of winter. This is the heart of the season, a time of stillness, endurance, and quiet strength. You breathe in the cold air one last time before sleep takes you, knowing that tomorrow and the days after will test you in ways you've never known. But you are ready, because in the deep winter, the mountain does not just survive, it thrives. Chapter 17, The Flicker of Companionship. The mountain is vast. Endless ridges fold into one another, snow-dusted and silent. You have come to know its solitude as deeply as your own breath. Yet, even here, in the cold and quiet, there are moments when you feel less alone. Today, the wind carries a scent unfamiliar, yet not threatening the faint trace of another snow leopard, far but near enough to stir your senses. You pause, tail curling tighter around your paws, ears flicking to catch every whisper on the breeze. It's not a call, not a challenge, but a presence, a subtle pulse woven into the mountain's breath. You move cautiously toward it, every step a silent question. The rocky path narrows, cliffs pressing in on either side, the air thinning with altitude. Ahead, a figure emerges, lithe, graceful, fur blending seamlessly with stone and shadow. For a moment, you lock eyes, two wild spirits, recognizing each other across the emptiness. No words are spoken, no claws unsheathed. This is the quiet understanding shared by creatures who roam alone, yet belong to the same ancient land. You circle slowly, respecting the fragile peace, the unspoken agreement that this mountain can hold many, but not all at once. Then, as silently as it appeared, the other slips away a shadow, dissolving into the folds of the ridge. You watch until nothing remains but the wind and the whisper of your own breath. In this fleeting encounter, the mountain reminds you of a truth. Solitude is not loneliness, It is space. Space to grow. Space to learn. Space to become. You turn back to your path, heart steadied by the knowledge that even in vast silence, you are never truly alone. Chapter 18. The Whisper of Spring. The mountain exhales softly. Winter's grip loosens, melting into memory as the first signs of spring emerge from beneath the snow. The air shifts no longer sharp and biting, but softened by warmth that hasn't yet fully touched the earth. You feel it first in the breeze, carrying new scents, the faint sweetness of thawing moss, the earthy promise of wet stone, the delicate trace of fresh shoots pushing toward the light. Your paws press against the thawing ground, the snow melting to reveal patches of brown and green, scattered like whispers of life returning. The mountain, once silent and still, begins to hum with subtle sounds, the distant drip of melting ice, the rustle of small animals stirring beneath the rocks, the trill of birds reclaiming the skies. You move carefully through this changing world, muscles remembering the strength gathered through the long winter. Your fur feels lighter, the thick coat shedding its weight as the sun grows stronger. The hunger that ruled your days softens to a patient pulse, tempered by the abundance that spring promises. Around you, the slopes are alive with possibility. You catch glimpses of blue sheep grazing on fresh grass, their movements slower now, less guarded than in the cold months. The mountain feels different, not less wild, but more generous, opening its arms with cautious welcome. You pause on a sun-warmed rock, lifting your head to drink in the scents and sounds. The earth beneath you pulses with life, and somewhere deep inside, you feel a flicker of hope, a quiet knowing that after every winter, the mountain renews itself. And so do you. Chapter 19. The Dance of Youth. The mountain's silence breaks, not with the roar of the wind or the crunch of snow, but with laughter carried on the breath of the young. You watch them from a distance. Your siblings, now growing strong, their bodies no longer fragile, but lithe and powerful. They tumble and leap, fur glinting in the pale spring sun, tails flicking like banners in the breeze. The world has become a playground. Rocks become stepping stones, snow patches transform into launch pads, and the air fills with the sharp, joyful sounds of discovery and delight. Each leap is a lesson, each chase a test of skill, each tumble a reminder of the strength growing beneath their soft fur. You join in, your own paws light and sure, your breath steady but eager. The mountains echo with your play, a rhythm of joy and growth, of learning and becoming. In this dance of youth, the hunger that once gnawed deep takes a backseat to the thrill of motion, to the bond of shared adventure. The world feels vast, full of possibilities, and secrets waiting to be uncovered. And as you leap and bound across the ridges, you carry with you the promise of all that lies ahead. A future shaped by strength, by courage, and by the wild, untamed spirit of the mountain itself. Chapter 20. The Threshold of Adulthood. The mountain's playground grows silent. The laughter of youth fades into the crisp air, replaced by something heavier, something measured and steady. You feel it deep in your bones, the shift from careless leaps to cautious steps, from boundless curiosity to guarded awareness. Your body has grown strong, muscles honed by play and survival alike, but strength alone is not enough here. The ridges hold new rules, now rules written in scent marks, deep scratches on bark, and the echoes of distant roars. You are no longer just a cub chasing shadows. Today, you learn that every step you take carries meaning, claiming ground, defending what is yours, and respecting the boundaries set by others who share this vast mountain. Your mother watches silently, her eyes sharp and steady. She knows the lessons you must learn, the battles you must face. The wind shifts again, carrying a scent that sends a shiver down your spine, a rival, close and watching. You move carefully, muscles tense but controlled. Your breath steadies as you trace the invisible lines that separate your world from theirs. In this moment, playfulness is a distant memory. replaced by the weight of responsibility, the need to survive, to protect, and to become more than you were yesterday. The mountain tests you, but it also shapes you. You stand on the edge of something vast, the boundary between youth and the life that waits beyond. And, with each heartbeat, you step forward. Chapter 21. The Silent Contest. The mountain holds its breath. You move through the rocky shadows with quiet purpose, each step deliberate, every muscle tuned to a low hum of tension. Ahead, the scent is stronger, now the unmistakable mark of another snow leopard guarding this ridge. You slow, lowering your body, tail brushing the ground like a whisper. The mountain is the stage, but this moment is your own to command. There are no growls here, no flashes of teeth. Dominance is spoken in silence, in the way you hold your gaze, in the steady rhythm of your breath, in the slow, controlled movements that say, "I am here. This is mine." Your rival steps into view, a shadow shaped by years of survival, eyes sharp and unblinking. You meet its gaze without flinching. The air is thick with challenge and caution. Neither of you moves for a long moment, the mountain absorbing the tension like still water. Then, slowly, deliberately, your rival lowers its head, a gesture of respect, a signal that this contest need not end in violence. You respond in kind, the silent agreement settling between you like snow on stone. The ridge belongs to one, but both understand the delicate balance that keeps the mountain alive. You turn away first, stepping back into the shadows, the weight of victory and restraint both heavy and light within you. The mountain exhales again, the silence returning deeper, quieter, stronger. Chapter 22. The Art of Stillness. The mountain does not rush, neither do you. You move through your territory like a shadow light, deliberate and unseen. The air around you holds 1,000 whispers, the crack of a twig, the faint rustle of a distant animal, the soft settling of snow. Your senses are alive, every nerve tuned to the silent symphony of the mountain. You pause behind a boulder, watching a herd of blue sheep grazing unaware. Your body lowers, muscles coiled beneath thick fur, breath slow and steady. In this moment, patience is your greatest weapon. You watch, you wait. You learn the rhythm of their movements, the slow, cautious steps, the quick flick of an ear, the subtle shifts in the wind. The mountain teaches you to be invisible, not just in body, but in presence, to move only when the time is right, to blend so seamlessly with rock and shadow that even the sharpest eyes miss you. Hours pass, like this stillness folding over you like a cloak. The hunger simmers beneath the surface, held at bay by your focus and calm. You know that when the moment comes, it will be swift and sure, no wasted movement, no hesitation. For now, you are the mountain patient, silent, eternal. Chapter 23. The Moment of Mastery. The mountain holds its breath. You have waited, watched, and moved with the rhythm of the world for hours, sometimes days, learning every detail, every sign. Now, the moment comes. The blue sheep stands alone on a ledge, unaware of the shadow slipping closer, the quiet force pressing down like a weight you cannot see but can feel in every fibre of your being. Your muscles coil, energy contained in a single, still moment. Your breath is steady, lungs pulling in the thin, cold air without rush. Then you move, a burst of power, silent and swift. Your paws leave the stone in a single leap, reaching farther than you ever imagined, closing the gap in heartbeats. The sheep senses too late the shadow, the sudden presence, the force that takes hold. Claws find flesh, jaws clamp with precision. The chase is brief, brutal, and perfect. You stand over your prize, the mountain silent, save for your heavy breath, and the faint crackle of ice beneath the snow. The hunger is satisfied, the lesson complete. You have become the mountain's master patient, powerful, unseen. Chapter 24. The Cycle of Life. The mountain never stops turning. Seasons fold into one another like pages in an endless book, each one writing a new chapter in the story of life here. You stand on a ridge, the wind soft against your fur, watching the world shift beneath the sky. The prey you chase, the cliffs you climb, the snow that blankets the earth, all are threads woven into a delicate tapestry. You know that every hunt is part of this cycle life, feeding life. The blue sheep that grazes in the valley gives strength to the mountain and to you. In taking, you honor the balance. Your body carries the story of those who came before each paw step, each breath a link in a chain that binds predator and prey, survival and surrender. Sometimes, the mountain feels endless. Other times, it feels small, as though everything you need is contained within the snow, the stone, the sky above. You rest now, knowing that the mountain holds you as surely as you hold your place within it. Life moves in circles here, slow and sure, and you are a part of its rhythm, wild, free, and eternal. Chapter 25. The Mountain's Whisper. The day fades slowly, casting long shadows over the peaks, turning the snow a soft shade of lavender. You settle into your den once more, the cold air curling around you like a familiar embrace. Your breath slows, each inhale and exhale a quiet rhythm in the stillness. Outside, the mountain holds its ancient secrets, whispering them in the wind, carrying them across the ridges and valleys, binding all life in its gentle song. You feel the weight of the day lift, the hunger soften, the wildness settle into peace. Here, in this quiet moment, you are home. The mountain watches, patient and eternal, as you drift into sleep, a part of its endless cycle, soft and still, wild and free. Thank you for joining this journey through the life of a snow leopard. If you found this experience informative and relaxing, consider liking the video. Leave a comment letting us know where you're listening from and what animal you'd like to explore next. Subscribe to stay updated on upcoming immersive animal POV stories. We look forward to bringing you another detailed life experience soon. Good night.